AM 1240, 95.3 FM, WJON. I'm Lee Voss. It's the Morning News Watch program. Joining me now, Gail Cruikshank, Talent Director at Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Glad to have you back in, of course, as we talk about career opportunities here. For folks who maybe are just tuning in, I know you're a regular guest on the program, but what is Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation?
Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation is a small nonprofit that focuses on economic development for the region. And we operate out of a business-centric model, which means that we have 80% of our funding comes from our local businesses here in the St. Cloud region that really have a passion to see our community grow. And through their leadership and wisdom and, time, talent, and treasure, our staff of 4 are able to help lead that for the region.
Would you say that Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation is more business-centric or more job-seeker-centric?
Well, we're focused on business-centric for sure, but they all go together. So now anybody that wants to be successful in business, their biggest challenge has really been their workforce. And how do we find people? How do we retain them? And, that really is the trigger to them being able to grow their business.
Because I know JobSpot is part of, and you're basically working to connect businesses with the workforce, right?
Right, absolutely. That was one of our portals that we created back in 2014 and has really served the community well. It posts jobs for free so employers don't have to pay to post. It just automatically scrapes websites. So the jobs come down when the employers have their job filled and they take it off of their website. So, and on the job seeker side, you don't have to fill out a profile. You don't have to submit a resume. You just get to search and see what's out there. And if you want to apply, there's a direct link to then that company's website.
Gail, are we still seeing businesses struggling to attract workers?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm also hearing a lot of uptick in applicant pool is better. Just the candidates are better. So I'm feeling encouraged. But I think it really revolves around those people, those employers that have really looked at jobs differently, are really listening to their employees about what they need, what's important to them, and really just adapting and not trying to do business as usual because our world has changed and it has changed for good. It will not go back, or as some people say, once it can be like it used to be. It's not. This is our new normal.
And one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was businesses looking toward part-time opportunities. Has it been kind of, the old school way of doing things? We hire full-time and we don't really kind of delve into the part-time thing?
That's a lot of it, especially in our industry type, service industries. Yes, they've always had part-time and they, benefit from that in many ways. But what we're seeing right now is, the employers that are looking at each of their jobs individually and saying, what do we really need? And how could we maybe take this great applicant or this great employee that wants to work less hours and, slide them into being that expert in that area? As you know, we have an aging workforce, and many people are what I like to call close to retirement or maybe retirement envy, but can't quite get there yet. And they still have a lot of industry knowledge to share. They just don't want to work 40 plus hours. They don't need to be the manager, the president, they don't care as much about the title. They care about what they're doing. And I think there's a lot of people that we're missing in, that could really help our work, and really any industry. I think any industry could, utilize part-time employees, even as a starting to see what students and our future workforce look like. And then obviously that aging population, which really, they still want to do something. They still want to contribute.
That's a great point, and they don't want to work full time, but they want something to kind of keep them busy throughout the week on particular days. The other end of the spectrum, you mentioned students or even young people, and it's interesting, Gail. Then when we were younger, it was like, okay, you go and you try and work as many hours as you can, and you try and get into a full time position at some point. Young people these days have a little bit different outlook, right? And it's not that they're lazy, but I was mentioning to you that I have a stepson who works 3 days a week at a distribution company in town. And for him, it's perfect. He gets to make a pretty good wage, doesn't have to work full time. as he looks to go to school. And so that flexibility is really important to him. And I think it's really important to some of these younger folks who look at the idea of work differently than our generation.
Absolutely, they do. And I'm glad you said it. It's not that they don't want to work or that they are lazy. They have other things that they're passionate about. They want to build in a few other things, be it school, like you mentioned, be it volunteerism, be it community engagement, whatever it is. And so those employers that are taking time to really talk to their employees about what type of person do we want, what kind of skills do they need, and then also listening to the candidates to say, what do you want? Because it can't always be, this is the job description, this is what we have, and not think about how do we look, maybe tweak that a little bit. How do we, get some training for somebody that has that potential? You can feel that potential within a candidate or within an associate. And just being able to adapt to that have been where our employers are seeing the most success.
One of the things that kind of caught my attention, and it's been probably 7-8 months now since I first heard it. I always asked myself, why aren't companies willing to go out and tell somebody, we're going to train you. We're going to give you the skill set on the job training that they used to do, but that now it seemed like in the last decade or two, everyone had to go to school in order to get, but I finally started hearing some job recruitment ads about companies saying, hey, come on in, we'll train you how to do it. It's about looking at things, as you mentioned here, with a fresh lens from companies to really try and be on the cutting edge of today's business world.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of employers have literally looked at every job and what truly is needed in that job description. And do they need a degree? Do they not? Because frankly, many companies are training on site anyway. They want to train their way. So look at your job descriptions if you're an employer and say, what are the absolutely have tos and what are the nice to have? Because I think your candidate pool will grow as far as people that are applying for your job. And again, that opportunity to give feedback as to how can you most successfully do this role, or, learn from somebody that's leaving your company or somebody that you've promoted. What could we do differently? Those people that have edited job descriptions or edited how they look for candidates, you have to go to where the candidate pool is. You can't expect them to all come to you. Those are the ones that are being successful in our community.
One of the things that you highlighted here on the artificial intelligence you gave me, that you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, I thought was really interesting. You're encouraging businesses to talk to their employees to get feedback. And I thought, well, that's brilliant because they're the ones on the front lines. They're the ones that are most familiar with the job duties and the job descriptions and what do they need, what don't they need, et cetera.
Exactly. I mean, that is how you are successful. They feel valued as an employee, that say, wow, my company really cares about what my thoughts are. And you don't have to feel as an employer that you have to honor every suggestion that an employee gives you, but take some of that out of there. Take what, it's like we all look at jobs differently. We all have our own lens. And so you might be thinking as one lens, but your employee or a candidate might be thinking differently. Nobody's wrong or right, but again, you can enhance that flexibility, that perception, and again, show that on your social media channels, because that's what people are scrolling through at night and they're saying, wow, it really looks like it's fun to work there. If you're picturing employees and you're, showing different types of employees, again, a lot of people want to say, I want to see myself in that company or within that industry. That's what fuels their fire to say, I want to work there.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. It goes quickly. But you do have on your website some recruitment and retention tips for businesses. How do they find that?
We do. For any of our employers, and anybody in the community can use these resources free of charge. It's at greaterstcloud.com. And then also for you job seekers, go to stcloudshines.com, which is where JobSpot sits within. If you want to check out jobs, just check out what our companies have to offer. Lots of great opportunities to connect.
Gail Cruikshank, Talent Director with the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation. We'll see you next month.
All right. Sounds great.
Thank you. We got to get a break. We'll be back on the Morning News Watch after this.